back to my channel. Today's video is how to cure fin rot. Now this is Ruben, one of my betta fish, and I believe he has fin rot. I'll see if I can get a good shot of him. You can see how his tail is kind of like all ripped apart. At first I wasn't sure what it was because his fin used to be so beautiful and big, as you may have seen in other videos. And then one time I noticed that it was starting to get a little shorter, and I wasn't noticing him like nipping at his own tail or anything, which I know some male bettas can do. So I wasn't sure what was wrong, and so I kind of left it until one day when I noticed I hadn't seen him like all day in his tank. So I got kind of worried, so I started looking for him, and he was hiding in one of his little hideout spaces in his tank. And the same thing happened the next day. He wasn't really out and about. So I took a look at him and realized that a lot of his fins were gone, and it must be fin rot. So I started treating the 10-gallon tank, and then I realized it was hard for him to get to the top to get air. So I kind of tried to help him a little bit when I was feeding him with a fish net, but then he didn't particularly want to eat when he was in the fish net. So I ended up moving him into this about maybe a gallon to 2-gallon tank. This is for temporary use only. And I filled it up with dechlorinated water and added a heater. And now I've been treating him for maybe half a week, I think. So if you've been wondering what I've been doing, because maybe you have a fish who has fin rot and you have no idea what to do, this is what I've been doing. So what I first did is I used some of this API aquarium salt. See if I can give you guys a good shot of the directions. This might not be the direction sign. It might be. There's another sign over here. Different languages it looks like on the other side. Yep. So the benefits. API aquarium salt provides essential electrolytes freshwater fish need to reach peak coloration and vitality. Aquarium salt improves gill function, reduces stress, facilitates regulation, my goodness, I can't read, and promotes disease recovery. When to use. Use API aquarium salt when setting up a freshwater aquarium or fishbowl, changing water, and treating fish disease. So I don't usually use this when I first set up a fish tank, only if like a fish is sick. And then directions. Add 1 rounded tablespoon for every 5 US gallons, 20 liters, or 1/2 rounded tablespoon for every US gallons, 4 liters, of aquarium water. And then there's a note basically saying the salt does not evaporate and it is not filtered out. It can only be added with each water change, and you should take care when using salt if you have live plants. So basically what I've been doing is pouring some of this salt into a betta cup with water from his tank and dissolving it, making sure it's fully dissolved, as when I believe I was researching it one other time, and people were saying you have to dissolve it fully for bettas because it's not good for them if it's not fully dissolved. And that took a long time to dissolve it. And then I would add it to the tank. I wouldn't necessarily take a teaspoon and measure it. What are you doing? He's like trying to shove himself into a crack that doesn't really have room for him. Okay, back on topic. So I used this for a few days, but after this past water change that I did the other night, I did not add this in because I didn't see that it said specifically for fin rot, but that doesn't mean it didn't help a little bit. I do notice his fins starting to grow back some. Another thing I've been using is this Betta stuff. You can probably find this at almost any pet store. And I don't really follow the directions. I read them. It's like it's saying how many drops per gallon you should use. But really it says per pint, because most betta people are like, oh yeah, you can keep, I shouldn't say most betta people. Some beginner betta caretakers keep them for life in a tank like this. And yes, when I started out, I kept fish in a tank like this small. And this one is not as bad as some of them. This one's better than a vase, which yes, I do admit I kept some bettas in a vase. So that's probably why it said per pint, because pint's a smaller amount of water. And then it has like up here, add 1/2 teaspoon, 2.5 milliliters per US gallon. So I didn't measure, I just plopped a bunch of drops in the tank. And that's another reason I moved him to the smaller container, because I'd be using up so much medication if I kept him in the 10-gallon tank that he was in. Now you may notice that the water is a funny color. It's not necessarily dirty. I did half a water change last night, and I will probably be doing a full out water change where I rinse water through the cracks that are on the bottom of the tank. That's from Indian almond leaves. So Indian almond leaves are beneficial for a betta fish, and you can also put them in like breeding tanks when you're breeding betta fish. And there's just makes the water more acidy, which sometimes is acidic. I cannot talk today. Makes the water more acidic, which can be good for betta fish, and just like another way to try and medicate him. So he seems to be doing well. His fins are growing back more than they were when I moved him in here. Though I don't think the lines were as big, maybe. So, and he's a lot more active than he was before when I first put him in. Because before I would like never see him, and now he's been swimming around a decent amount in this video. So, that's that. You can try aquarium salt and Benefix. They're both API brands, and this is not a sponsored video. I wouldn't mind if it was sponsored, but it's not. What I use for now. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you're interested in learning about betta fish or animals, or just enjoy watching animals. I have another video coming up very soon about betta sorority tanks, or about something that I may have just set up that's right next door. If you've noticed that this is a different scene than what you usually see. And I will actually be getting fish very soon, so there will also be another video on that to stick around. And thank you so much for watching. Once again, please subscribe. I'm so close to 70 subscribers. Please give this video a thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments what you think. Maybe if you learned something new about curing fish from fin rot, and I will keep you updated on how he is going. So thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you all in my next video.